It's the second of 3 straight home games this week as Champions League Matchday 5 comes from Anfield tonight. Jurgen Klopp's men are already through to the knockout stages as Group B winners, but for their opponents it's all to play for. Liverpool take on Porto for the 6th time in the last 4 seasons. The Reds have won 4 and drawn 1 of those last 5. All the action gets underway at 8 o'clock. Welcome along to our Matchday Live preview from Anfield. Gary Gillespie and Stephen Warnock are my guests. As mentioned, Liverpool have already booked their place in the last 16 of this season's competition with an impressive 4 wins from their opening 4 group games. It's a crucial final 2 match days for the other 3 sides, though. Victory for Porto here tonight would see them progress if Atletico lose at home to AC Milan. The Reds sit comfortably clear in top spot though with 12 points from 12. And here's a reminder of how they did it.
Alexander-Arnold inside the penalty area and the shot is deflected into the back of the net. Muller delivers now and Sadio Mane is there. And still going and still and touched into the net. Alexander-Arnold, oh, Diogo Jota, goal! Beautiful! Henderson, oh my word, that's an absolute cracker! And in an instant, Naby Keita has scored an absolute screamer! Jones, oh, and Firmino is in! And Liverpool have a 5th. Alexander-Arnold, he's going to find, Mane's there! And scores! Well, they've not just qualified with 2 games to go, they've won the group with 2 games to go. Sensational group phase from Liverpool.
Yeah, flawless stuff so far from the Reds. Gary, how pleased can we be with our work so far? It's rarely this smooth in the group stages.
Well, I think when you look at campaigns in the past, it's always kind of like been left to the last game, the group stages. But obviously, we've done exceptionally well to find ourselves in the position we are in. It just gives the manager a little bit of leeway to pick and choose who he really wants to play in the last 2 games. And you know, I think especially with the fact that you've got so many games. I think it's 9 games in December. I think that's a big plus for Jurgen, and certainly the squad will have to be utilised, and it gives them a great opportunity to play 1 or 2 of the guys that have been on the fringes of the Premier League side. So all in all, it's been a really positive campaign. Let's look forward and hopefully get a good draw in the next round.
Hey, when the group was drawn, we all feared the worst because it was, on paper, it seemed a difficult group. We've dealt with it with some ease. It's quite nice, Stephen, now to look at the group and think, yeah, we're cut and dried, we're fine. But for everyone else, they still got loads to play for in these last 2 games.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you looked at the group at the beginning and said this is going to be really difficult. What game do you think you can see yourself going through? And to have 2 games to spare, to be comfortable in the group is music to the Jurgen Klopp's ears. But for the players as well, the confidence that they'll get from dispatching that group very comfortably, I think we've seen it in the Premier League anyway, that they know that they've done a really good job of this group.
I guess there is a warning tonight, Gary, not to underestimate Porto, undefeated domestically, sitting joint top of the table. European pedigree is some question. I don't think they've been out of Europe since 1974, so just be a little bit cautious going into tonight.
Yeah, I think I remember the last, I think it was at 2018, I think, when we went across to the Dragao and absolutely battered them. I think it was 5-1 or something like that, came back to Anfield, and again I think we'd probably qualified by that stage and we drew 0-0. I think it was one of the only times that we actually failed to score in that competition. So, you know, they are more than capable. I think we talk about Porto on a regular basis, you know, how well they do in their own domestic league. Yes, they qualify for European football. It's how do they get to the next stage and maybe be, you know, playing in semi-finals and finals. They've never quite managed it, and certainly it seems to be that Liverpool have got the hoodoo over them. I think you just need to look at the games in recent seasons. I mean, we've actually gone to town on them on many an occasion. Interesting to think as well that I looked at the stats. They've never won in England. I think they've played 20 games, drawn 3 and lost 17. So they don't have a great track record in travelling over here. Hopefully that'll be the case again tonight.
And of course they come in to Anfield today having to face Liverpool's side, who were excellent here at the weekend. And it was a real, I guess, reaffirmation of Liverpool's quality. People say, oh, maybe there's a few issues after West Ham, but this was a fabulous performance against an informed team.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, that was the. I mean, we did the preview show about Arsenal, didn't we? And chatting away about sort of, is this a dangerous game for Liverpool? When you think of there's a 10-game unbeaten run coming in, it was always going to be a challenge. But Liverpool again made light work of it, dominant in every area. I think when you want a reaction from a poor performance, and West Ham was a very poor performance. I think we have to openly admit that. I think it was a surprise to everyone that the way we didn't really turn up on the day, and sort of got rolled over by a very good West Ham team. But you're looking for a response, and what a response it was, because I thought to a man every player stepped up and performed to a high level.
I think what we also took from this weekend, Gary, is very much there are 3 teams in the Premier League who are a step above everyone else, and it's going to be a race between those 3 sides. Liverpool are one, of course, for the title this season.
Yeah, I think when Stephen's actually bang on. I think when you're going into this game, you're thinking that Arsenal undefeated in 10, best record in the Premier League at this moment in time after Liverpool losing at West Ham. You think this could be a really sticky encounter. But you know, right from the get-go, they kind of dominated possession. It was only really after that little tete-a-tete,
it was good, wasn't it?
on the touchline, that the game kind of like came to life a little bit. And I mean, but Liverpool was still dominant even before that. I was really disappointed in Arsenal. They never really showed that much, to be quite honest with you. And I think it emphasises the fact that you're making, you know, it's Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool for me. And out of these 3, I think, you know, Liverpool and Manchester City have been the horse that's been like the distance. So you know, it's still a long way to go, but certainly at this moment in time, it looks between the three of these teams. Yeah.
Could we call it an Arteta? If that work? I don't know the translation of that. Okay, less of that. Let's head inside to the stadium now, where Peter McDowell is the man on the ground for us tonight.
Thank you, Mark. Welcome pitchside. We're not overly used to this, are we? Dramatic European nights and the flags on the cup are what we do, but Liverpool have smashed this group to pieces, and in truth, Jurgen Klopp has earned the right to pick whatever team he wants for tonight. But he's got his eye on momentum. He's also got his eye on December and January. No spare midweeks left now in 2021, and what is it now? 9 games alone in December. He really needs to keep an eye on what will happen maybe in the next week or 2, as opposed to what just happens for tonight. He does have good news, and the roster is looking a bit healthier in the sense that Henderson is available if needed, Robertson too, James Milner has trained, but in truth he'll probably look for that experience from the bench. He can use 5 subs tonight, you'd be surprised not to see him use them all. And with the African Cup of Nations not too far away, and the prospect of doing without Sadio Mane and Mo Salah for perhaps a significant amount of time, he'll probably be tempted to take a look at Taki Minamino alongside Divock Origi and Diogo Jota tonight as well. And a really romantic night perhaps in prospect for young Tyler Morton, who made his name in the Wallasey Amateur Sunday League, and the 19-year-old is really poised for his debut tonight, whether that be from the bench or from the start. Jurgen Klopp is of the mind that he will only improve and get to the level they need him confidence-wise should they give him regular games. So look out for that one. And where Porto are concerned, they will feel coming here. They have a point to settle, with Liverpool perhaps taking their foot off the gas, and they need the points as well. To take something from this tonight would give them a better chance of keeping tabs on Atletico Madrid for that second place as well. An intriguing night in prospect. We will of course confirm team news for you on Matchday Live when we're underway at 7.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, team selection is of particular interest tonight because we just wonder how much Jurgen will tweak things. He sort of bristled a little bit when he was asked about it ahead of the game, Stephen, but you could understand if he did chop and change a little bit at least.
I fully expect him to. Fully expect him to give players the opportunity to play games, to get fitter, to showcase what they can do. Going into a busy period, you're going to need everyone at full tilt. Training's great. I mean, you can see the way the players train, that they train extremely hard, but that match sharpness is what is key to players. To feel involved as well for players, I think, is vitally important. Those players that are just on the fringes, to be given a run out in a game, Champions League game, under the lights, I think that shows that the manager trusts you as well. And they're the little sort of key things that managers can do. Keep you involved, keep you feeling part of it.
Is that important to have those little sweeteners every so often?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, what are you training for at the end of the day? You're training and you're thinking, you're giving me nothing back here, but you want me to do everything for you day in, day out. Well, reward me for it at some point. And I'm talking about senior players as well as the younger players coming through, because There's nothing more deflating than you turn up and you think, ooh, it's going to be rotated, the team, and then you're not in it as well, and you think, well, where's my opportunity? What am I doing at the football club?
One area of the pitch this year where he's got more option to rotate is at left back. You know, last year he perhaps didn't trust Kostas Tsimikas enough to give Andy the games off, but now we've seen a situation where he steps in and he steps in seamlessly, and he could play tonight.
I think it was a difficult situation, wasn't it, for Tsimikas coming in at the time that he came in. It was an awkward situation, and I think, you know, off the back of like the performances of Andrew Robertson as well, it was always going to be tough for him. I think he's a player that needs a run of games, a little bit like Naby Keita. I think when you get a run of games, I think he has a little bit more confidence. For me, his delivery is better than Andrew Robertson from the wide areas, and that's saying something, because Andrew Robertson's delivery is pretty top notch. He just has to learn to be a little bit more aware defensively, I think. But that, you know, that will come with playing on a regular basis, and I think. The position that we find ourselves in at this moment in time, I don't think it's a great loss that Andrew Robertson is not playing, and that, you know, that's, you know, speaking highly of Kostas, if you're saying that, because, you know, the standards that Andrew Robertson has set over the last couple of seasons have been really phenomenal. But I'll have to say that I've been really impressed with like Tsimikas when he's come into the side, and I think he can only get better as well.
Across the other side of the field, not quite the same closeness in terms of comparison with Trent, but Nico Williams has come in at times and not looked out of place, and is a player who's developing. We've seen him get more international experience, which will only help him, and again he can get forward well, which is crucial for how we play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Nico Williams, because he came into the team and he sort of took it by storm straight away, and everyone was talking about him. And then I think it was Lincoln away in the Carabao Cup, and he had not a great night. He got a little bit of a stick on social media, and you could tell it hit him, and it does hit players. Whether they should be on it or not is a different sort of talking point. But what I would say about him is he's responded in the right way. He's got his head down, he's worked extremely hard, and there's no doubt in that he's got quality. We know that, but there's no point in having quality without confidence, and confidence is everything. But that's up to the players in and around him, in the building, and it's more so up to the staff to rebuild that into him. But he's got to go away as well and look at himself, and I think he's done that extremely well. I think his performances for Wales have been outstanding, obviously playing on the left wing back position as well, but that shows you how intelligent he can be as a footballer, how he's listening to things. I do actually think that wing back role suits him better than being a full back as well.
I know this is daft, it might sound daft, but do you think because he goes away with Wales, and he probably is, for want of a better phrase, a bigger fish in a smaller pool, that he has a little bit more belief, a little bit more confidence in his own ability, and like with that, the performances are maybe a little bit
Well, I think
better.
the other thing is as well is that when you, I mean, you've probably not been in a situation, you're a better player than me, but you look at it and go, there's people in front of me, I'm not going to get my opportunity. Where do I go from there? What is my role within the club now? Whereas when he goes with Wales, he's the manager saying to him, you're playing, you're going to play. Whereas at Liverpool, it's like, where's my pathway? Where am I going to end up here? Do I see myself being a reserve team player or a backup player? Or is my career away from Liverpool, which is the path I took? So I know exactly how he feels, because you do get to a situation where you think, I've got to make a decision here. And I think he's in that similar sort of position at the moment.
We sometimes talk about the impact of international football, for good or bad. For Wales, it's a real lift when he goes away with his country, because they all enjoy it, they all buy into it, so he actually comes back with that confidence that you said maybe he lacked a bit last year. OK, back to tonight then. Let's hear from a player who knows only too well what it takes to win the Champions League, not just once, but twice. Thiago has his sights set on a third win with Liverpool. That might be the long-term target. The short-term one is to follow up that terrific win over Arsenal with another tonight against Porto.
Well, at the beginning you have to make small goals and trying to achieve them. We achieved to pass this group and to go to the next round as first in the first place. But second and most important thing during this season is to win all the games as we can. So it's a big motivation off, because the Champions League night at Anfield against a great team. So we are bringing our best tonight.
It will be your first experience of a European night at Anfield with fans as a Liverpool player.
Yeah.
So you must be looking forward to that.
Sure, I'm looking forward to play for this crowd every game, not just Champions League, but for sure they told me about the Champions League night that's special, and I'm here to play football.
You made your first start following the injury at the weekend. How are you feeling in terms of your fitness and your sharpness?
I'm sharp again, for sure. The 90 minutes where I'm trying to be as capable to play those. At the end were 80 minutes, but I think the performance and the physically was high enough to be happy with my physical performance. And at the end, football is football. You just have to play the game, be technical, be aware and smart during the game.
And just finally, is it now a case for you of getting as many minutes as you possibly can to build up that rhythm and get that proper match fitness back?
Yeah, I'm able and ready for the coach when he thinks I'd be useful for the team, so I'm here.
And you can hear more from Thiago in Matchday Live, and our build-up show from 7 o'clock on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. We'll also bring the thoughts of Jurgen Klopp and Marko Grujic ahead of his Anfield return with Porto. There's live audio commentary of all the action from 8 before Gary, Stephen and I are back here at 10 with the Matchday reaction show. Do join us from 7 if you can.